Hello, great people out there. Welcome back to my channel. And today we will be continuing with the second part of the rat trap. We have already done with the first part, and if you haven't watched the video for the first part, please go through it so that you understand what is the continuation of the lesson. Otherwise, it won't be no use, and actually it will go all above your head. So please make sure that you go through the first chapter as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do subscribe it and hit the bell icon button, so that you get a notification as soon as I come and you don't miss out any lesson, right? So let's get started and continue with the second part of red trap and understand the chapter, a beautiful chapter, red trap, right? Yes. Now the tram did not I'll just give you a little bit what happened in the last class. The person, wow, where did he come turned up at the iron steel factory over there. Okay. And what he did, he asked for a permission if he could stay overnight over there. So he was granted permission because they were used to, blacksmith and all were used to over there, to have such people around them, because during the winters people are looking out for shelter, right? Specifically during the winters and all that, and they need heat. So such factories are the one which gives the heat as well. So so they were used to of such people, like we can say poor people, coming and taking the shelter for a night. So he was been granted the permission, and now the story continues. The tramp did not say anything, means the person did not say anything either. He had not come there to talk, but only to warm himself and sleep, as I said you. Who he? Rattrap. In those days, the Ramsuj iron mill was owned by a very prominent iron master. What do you mean by prominent? Well known. Okay. Whose greatest ambition was to ship out iron to the market. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. And this very moment he came in the forge, into the forge means that factory, okay, iron factory, on one of his nightly rounds of inspection. At times the owner, he used to come, for what? For the inspection. And that night, all of a sudden he came for the inspection. Okay. The one who is the owner of that forge, the means factory. Okay. Naturally, the first thing he saw was tall ragamuffin who had hissed his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his rat tracks. What does it mean? The rat, as I said you, the rat person, rat trap, right? The person who had taken a shelter over there. So what happened, as soon as the person, the owner of the the owner of the iron factory turned up, he came. He came in front of the, suppose you are sitting and someone is coming just very near to you, and जो वो बत्ती है ना, जैसे जिससे आग आ रही है, and you're feeling very better during the winter season, but he came so close that he was feeling कि आग उसमें से आ रही है, बत्ती में से नहीं आ रही है. That way it is always said. Now ragamuffin means what? It's sort of a, like you can say a bold danger, you feel like scarecrow, in short scarecrow, हाँ. तो वैसे उसे लगा किसे, the rat person. Okay. Now close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet lights. उसको ऐसे लग रहा था कि खुद में से ही आग आ रही है. किसको? rat trap person. Okay. The iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmiths, who had hardly designed to look at the stranger. Now what does it mean? As soon as the rat trap entered, they didn't notice, right? The blacksmith didn't notice much. He said, as he was used to, he said, okay, someone is coming, let him sit, let him enjoy, means let him take a shelter for a night, it's fine. But the owner did not follow this example. What did he do? He went close to it. He went close to it and he put an attention over there to see who is this person. Tried to know the person. Now let's see further. He walked close to him, looked him over very carefully, then tore off his slouch hat. Means, see, he was wearing a hat, like if you remember that Gabbar Singh hat. Okay, which is, please ignore my drawing, so which has a covering upstairs also, this way and this way. So what he did is, and over here as well, so ye jo matlab it was covered letter. So what did he do? He tore off this. Why? So that he can look at that rat trap very properly. The person who has come to take the shelter in his factory to take, so he just this way. Okay, so that he can look at that person, who the person is exactly, to get a better view of his face. But of course, it is you, Nils Olaf. Now the owner is saying that he knows him and he is, calling him by name, the name Nils. Okay, he said, "How do you look? मतलब कैसा दिख रहा है?" The man with the rat traps had never before seen this iron master at Ramsur and did not even know what his name was. Now this poor fellow did not ever see it, and he doesn't even know this person, but still he is saying, the owner is saying, that he knows him very well. So now what happens? But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought that he was an old acquaintance, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. Therefore, he did not want to undeceive him all at once. What does it mean? इसने कहा कि अगर मैं उसे बोल दूं कि जो जो तुम समझ रहे हो वो मैं नहीं हूं इंसान, दैट इज अनदर पर्सन, तो क्या हो जाएगा? मे बी मैं अपॉर्चुनिटी खो दूंगा कुछ और क्रोना मीन्स पैसे कमाने की. मे बी आई विल बी थ्रोन आउट. सो ये सोचा कि अच्छा है, इसको वो अंधेरे में रहने दो कि मैं नल्स ओलफ हूँ, एंड एटलीस्ट ही विल हैव सम पिटी ऑन मी एंड ही मे गिव मी मनी एंड आई विल अर्न समथिंग. सो दैट्स द वे ही जस्ट सेड अनडिसीव, मतलब वो एक अंधेरे में रहने दो कि हाँ मैं वही आदमी हूँ. लेट हिम बी इन दैट ओनली थिंग so that he can earn something and he can enjoy. But this is obviously cheating, right? Let's move forward. Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me. Now he's saying God knows the things have gone downhill. He said, "You should have not resigned from the regiment. Regiment is sort of army, okay?" Said the Iron Master. "That was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it would have never happened." Well, now of course you will come home with me. Who is saying to whom? The owner of the iron factory is saying to the poor person who is taking the shelter that now you will come at my home. Okay, to go along up to the manor house and be received by the owner like an old regimental comrade. That, however, did not please the tramp. Tramp means what? The rat trap. The person means different names have been called up. Okay, "No, I couldn't think of it," he said, looking quite alarmed. He thought of the 30 kroner. To go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den. What does it mean? Now what the owner is saying, now you have to come at my house and you have to stay with me for some time. And but this man, the poor fellow, the tramp, what is he thinking? The poor fellow, the rat picker, what is he thinking? The rat maker, the rat trap, the person he is thinking कि how can I go to such a man? Manor means a big house, a bungalow. Okay, how can I go to his house? If I go, he was thinking maybe I will be caught. For what? He has stolen the money, 30 kroner he has stolen. So he was worried कि मैं पकड़ा जाऊंगा तो मैं कैसे जा सकता हूँ. पॉसिबिलिटी ही नहीं है कि मैं आर्मी के घर पे जाके रहूँ. ओके, दिस ही वाज थिंग. ही सिंग अगर मैं चले गया इट मींस आई एम थ्रोइंग माई सेल्फ इन लैंड्स डेन, मतलब मैं खुद ही शेर के मुंह में हाथ डाल रहा हूँ. He only wanted a chance to sleep here in the forge and then sneak out away as inconspicuously as of his miserable clothing. मतलब इसका मतलब क्या हो गया ना? He is saying that कि उसकी एक ही intention थी, that he wants to sleep tonight and tomorrow he wants to just फटाफट बिना किसी के नजर में आए गायब हो जाना. That's what he is trying to say. The Ironmaster assumed that he felt embarrassed. The owner is feeling that maybe उसको embarrassed feel हो रहा है, मेरा इतना बड़ा घर है ये सब सोच के कि वो कैसे जाएगा और ये फटे पुराने कपड़े पहना हुआ है. So what did he say? Because of his miserable clothing. Please don't think that I have such a fine home that you cannot show yourself there, he said. Elizabeth is dead, means his wife. As you may already have heard, my boys are abroad and there is no one at home except my oldest daughter and myself. We were just saying that it was too bad we didn't have any company for Christmas. Now come along with me and help us make the Christmas food disappear in a little faster. But the stranger said no, and again no. And the Iron Master saw that he must give in. Now what is going on now? He's saying that he's trying to comfort the poor man. He's saying, don't think that I have such a big house and you're wearing a torn clothes and all that. ऐसा मत सोच. तू आ जा मेरे घर पे. Already you know कि my wife is no more. My sons are abroad and only my oldest daughter is with me. Okay, so you don't need to worry. And actually, me and my daughter, the owner and the daughter, was thinking that they have to celebrate the Christmas alone, and they were quite upset for this. So they were thinking they should have someone to complete up the feast, means वो खाना फटाफट complete करे और enjoy कर पाए. He was trying to comfort the poor person, but what he was saying again and again, no. Why? Because he was having a fear of being caught, and because he had stolen 30 konar rupees, right? 30 konar, sorry. So then again and again saying no, no. So Iron Master saw, ठीक है, fine, let it be. He just gave up. He just gave up. It looks as though Captain would still prefer to stay with you night. Now, the person who's working over there, he's saying कि शायद उसको आपके साथ रहना था. Strong, he said to the master blacksmith and turned on his heel. But he laughed to himself as he went away. And the blacksmith who knew him, who is the blacksmith, the person who is working in the factory, who knew him, means वो अपने सेठ को, means मालिक को अच्छे से जानता था. Understood very well that he had not said his last word. He was waiting for his last word. He understood that वो इतना easily तो हाँ नहीं बोल देगा कि मत रहो मेरे घर पे. It was not more than half an hour before they heard the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge, and a new guest came in. Now someone else is coming inside the factory. But this time it was not the Iron Master. It was not the owner Iron Master. He had sent daughter, apparently hoping that she would have better powers of persuasion. Means what? Convincing. As it is said that कि उसको लगा कि मेरे से वो convince नहीं हुआ poor man आने के लिए, तो मेरी बेटी से तो हो जाएगा, as women have a better power of convincing. So that's what he thought. Then she entered, followed by a valet. Valet means a male servant, we say, carrying on his arm a big fur coat. She was not at all pretty, but seemed modest and quite shy. In the forge, everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The master blacksmith and his apprentice means helper, still sat on their bench, and iron and charcoal still glow in the furnace. सब कुछ पहले जैसा नॉर्मली था, जैसे रोज काम चल रहा है वैसा ही चल रहा था. वो जो मास्टर है एंड इसका हेल्पर है, जैसे वो लोग चारकोल डाल डाल के बारी बारी बत्ती में कर रहे थे, वो सब हो रहा था, नॉर्मल था, सब कुछ नॉर्मल चल रहा था. इट वाज नथिंग न्यू. अब जो स्ट्रेंजर था उसको लाने के लिए कितना कन्विंसिंग चल रहा था, बस वही स्टोरी चल रही थी. The stranger had stretched himself out on the floor and lay with a piece of big iron under his head and his head pulled down over his eyes. Means वो जो stranger था वो आराम से सो रहा था, right? And his head pulled down, मतलब वो eyes तक इधर तक उसने अपनी जो टोपी है ये रख ली थी, so that वो आराम से सो पाए. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, he went up and lifted his head. As soon as उसको लगा कि किसी की आई है छवि, वो फटक से अपनी हेड उठाया. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि एक आंख ओपन करके सोता था. It means he used to be very alert, because obviously sleeping on the roadways always he has to be alert. He jumped apparently and seemed to be quite frightened. मतलब suddenly वो jump किया और थोड़ा सा scare हो गया. क्यों? Because he saw a woman all of a sudden and who was standing really next straight to him. Okay. My name is Edla Williamson, said the young girl. She introduced. My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight, and then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. She's saying, now my father said that you want to sleep, but now I'm coming to take you home. I'm so sorry, Captain, that you're having such a hard time. Now she's saying sorry that you're having so hard time. She looked at him compassionately with her heavy eyes. Means with a kind heart she looked at. Okay. She was feeling very bad pity on that poor person. Then she noticed that man was afraid. डरा हुआ था. Either he has stolen something or else he has escaped from jail. She got an idea. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Either she thought and added quickly. You may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as freely as you come. Only please stay with us over Christmas Eve. She said this in such a friendly manner that the Rattrap peddler must have felt confidence in her. It would have never occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself, miss, he said. I will come at once. Now what is happening? जो daughter है वो बोल रही है कि आपकी मर्जी, आपको जब आना है आप आ सकते हो, जब जाना है जब जा सकते हो। जैसे आप आज हमारे साथ आओगे फ्रीली, आप कभी भी जा सकते हो। सो यू डोंट वरी दैट आई विल जस्ट लॉक यू इन माई हाउस, आई विल नॉट डू दैट, डोंट वरी। सो ये बोलते ही थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंस आया किसमें, रैट्रैप पेडलर में, कि ठीक है अब मैं जा सकता हूँ। सो उसने कहा अरे आपको आने की जरूरत नहीं थी, मैं अपने आप ही आ जाता। एक बार बोलने पे ही जस्ट गॉट अप एंड वेट। He accepted the fur coat, मतलब उसने ले लिया fur coat, at which the valet handed him with a deep bow ऐसे, and threw it over his rags and followed the, means अपने फटे पुराने कपड़े फेंक दिया और वो fur coat पहन लिया, and followed the young lady out of the carriage, out to the carriage, without granting the astonished, means surprised blacksmith so much as a glance, मतलब देखा नहीं, glance. But while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Means what? एक बोलते ना डरावनी खतरनाक फीलिंग आ रहा था. But why the devil did I take the fellow's money? मतलब उसको लग रहा था मैंने क्यों पैसा लिया, मैंने क्यों चोरी की. He thought, now I'm sitting in the trap and will never get out of it. The next day was Christmas Eve, and when the Ironmaster came into the dining room for breakfast, he probably thought with the satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. Okay, so this was happening the next day, the breakfast and all that. First of all, we must see it that he gets a little flash on his bone. वो लोग बात करें कि इसको थोड़ा मतलब फ्लैश भी आना चाहिए, पूरा हड्डी है. He said to his daughter, the iron master, who was busy at the table, and then we must see that he must get something to do than to run around the country selling rattraps. अब वो बात कर रहा है, iron master is so kind that he is saying that first we need to feed him well so that he gets some flesh on his body, and secondly we need to give him some work so that he don't need to sell rattraps all over the country. It is fear that the things have done downhill with him as badly as that, said the daughter. Last night I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. You must have patience, my little girl, said the father. Now the daughter is not that convinced, but still father is saying you have patience. As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different. Last night he was naturally embarrassed. He was not feeling good to come. The tramp manners will fall away from him with tramp clothes. He is saying जैसे ये कपड़े उतरेंगे वैसे ही manners भी उतर जाएगी और अच्छी manners जो है वो आ जाएगी. Just as he said, this door opened and the stranger entered. जैसे उसने ये कहा वो entry मारा. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. The valet had bathed him, cut his hair and shaved him. Moreover, he was dressed in a good-looking suit of clothes which belonged to the Iron Master. He wore a white shirt and a starched collar and horseshoes. But although his guest was now as so well groomed मतलब बहुत अच्छे से ready था, the Iron Master did not seem pleased. Iron Master को तो भी convince नहीं हुआ, इतना मतलब अच्छा नहीं लगा. He looked at him with plucked brow. मीन्स ऐसे देख रहा था कि ऐसा मतलब अजीब थोड़ा लो. And it was to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake. Now he is realizing कि शायद मैंने गलती कर दी इसको समझने में. Maybe he is not that the person whom I was identifying as he is right now, right? But that now, when he stood there in the broad daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. Now he is feeling कि मैंने शायद गलती कर दी पहचानने में. मैं जिसको जो समझ रहा था वो actual में शायद वो नहीं है. So now he is trying to understand himself, the master, Iron Master. What does this mean? He thundered. The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. He saw at once that splendor had come to an end. Means Sarah Ash and all that luxurious is coming to an end. It is not my fault, sir, he said. I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader, and I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge. मेरी गलती नहीं है, मैंने तो सिर्फ मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा कन्विंस किया, बहुत भी मांगे कि खाली मुझे एक दिन फौज में रहने दो, फैक्ट्री में रहने दो, और कुछ नहीं. उसके अलावा मैंने कुछ और प्रिटेंड नहीं किया कि मैं क्या हूँ क्या नहीं हूँ. But no harm has been done. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away. He thinks ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मैं ये कर सकता हूँ कि मेरे फटे पुराने कपड़े मैं वापस पहन लेता हूँ, मैं चले जाता हूँ. Well, said the Iron Master, hesitating little. It was not quite honest either. You must admit that. I should not be surprised if the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter. The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist as if he says he struck the table. Now I'm going to tell you, Mr. Iron Master, how things are, he said. This whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. वो बोल रहा है कि अब आयरन मास्टर को बोल रहा है कि ये पूरी जो दुनिया है ना कुछ नहीं है बस एक ट्रैप है. Okay, all the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese rings and bits of pork set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble. And if the sheriff comes now and locks up for this, then you, Mr. Iron Master, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork and you will get caught in the trap. The Iron Master began to laugh. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. So today we will be doing this chapter till here only, and tomorrow, like obviously in my next video, we will be continuing with the chapter. I hope you have understood till here, and if you have any further doubts, anything left out from this part, please use the comment box so that I can clear your doubts first, and then we start with the next part of this chapter. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And please ask contacts to subscribe to my channel if you want me to come with the videos and you want me to stay motivated. So stay tuned, stay happy, keep soaring. English with Bhavana. Bye bye.